Welcome back, and you're very welcome if you're new. So I have a Hemlock and Oak, I was going to say unboxing, but they're already unboxed. Planner flip through, there we go. And I have the Horizontal Planner. This is actually a notebook, and this is the Weekly and Daily, and both these are the 70 GSM paper, so we'll be doing a bit of a pen test in that as well. And of course there's chapters in the video if you want to skip about to particular things, but I'm going to start with a cover comparison because I have one of each. So first of all, they have three options now. They have the paper flex, they have the cloth flex and hardcover. And this is the paper flex, so let me just take this off. The paper flex is lightweight and flexible, and it has an Eco-Vero spine wrap. Eco-Vero, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, that's what it is up there. It's a brand of viscose fibre produced from wood pulp. So this is a rougher texture material, whereas this is the actual paper part. As you can see, it is cardstock, but it's not flimsy by any means. And it has lasted well. It's what I'm using this year. And as you can see, this I have been using for 6 months, and I love the fact that because it is paper, these vinyls have stuck to it really well and aren't going anywhere. And it has held up really well. That's only 6 months, but if you have a look at my planner in itself, it's a B5. It's also a paper flex, and I've had it in and out. Now there is a few sort of fingerprints where I've maybe had like oils on my fingers. I don't know if you can even see them on camera. But I've been really impressed with it, and the binding and spine can definitely take the chunk, as you can see. And then we have the one that's new for this year, which is the cloth flex. It doesn't have the Eco-Vero spine wrap, as you can see. It's all cloth flex the whole way round, but it's made by the same company. It's a durable Eco-Vero cloth with, now, how do you pronounce this? Aqueous coating. So basically that's a substance that's dissolved in water, forming an aqueous, or however you say it, solution. So even though they're both Eco-Vero, Eco-Vero's the brand, and this one is completely covered by it. And this is like fibre from wood pulp, and this is to do with a chemical solution and substance that's dissolved in water. So they are different, and this one feels rougher and this one is smoother, although there is a texture to it. It's not by any means smooth, I'm just saying it's smoother than that. And it still feels like a cardstock. It's hard to describe this, to be honest, and I don't know how it's going to hold up over the year because I actually have some planners in this material, so we'll see. I'll keep you up to date with it, but that's their new material. And then their final option is the hardcover. It is premium rigid binding for maximum durability. So if you are really hard on your planners, you take them out and about, this might be the options for you. And it has ribbons. The cloth and paper flex don't include the ribbons because of the way they're bound, but you get ribbons inside it. And as you can see, it is completely unbendable and tough. And it actually has a texture to it, it's not smooth. So it is covered in some sort of material, but that's their hardcover option. So I hope that was helpful. I know it's really hard when you can't feel them and see them yourself, but I hope those descriptions helped you. Okay, so let's start with the horizontal and we'll flip through it. So you can get this in the full version of A5 that has all the goal setting stuff at the front, and you can also get it in the A5 Minimalist, which is what I got. It cuts all that out and you only have the basic opening spreads. It's available in the all three cover options, so cloth flex, paper flex, hardcover. The hardcover had 12 options of colours. I'm not going to go through what the colours are, but because at this point of the year there are particular colours that'll have sold out. And by the time I edit and upload this, whatever I say could have changed. But if you go on and check and see what's left, but there were 12 options originally. And the cloth flex has 7 options for horizontal, and the paper flex had 4 options to start off with. Like I said, I don't know about now. This is actually Wild Indigo, the cover, and I'm kind of annoyed with myself because I really wanted the purple and I decided to go for Wild Indigo, but I think I really should have went for Plum Grove. But I just felt that the Plum Grove on the website looked a bit pink tinged or something, and this felt like it was more of a true purple, but in person, like it has, like I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's green through it. So it's not solid purple by any means. And I know indigo isn't actually a dark purple or anything, but I just, from what it looked like on screen, I thought it was more purple than what it is. It's still beautiful, but it's just something to bear in mind that the colours you see on screen aren't necessarily going to be how you think they're going to be, if you know what I mean. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, so it is 120 GSM paper, so they're standard paper. I'll talk more about the paper later, so I'll not go into that now. But it has 224 pages in it. So let's take a look. So the opening part is completely blank. And then you have the Glue Too High page that comes in all bound books, which is your This Planner Belongs To page. Then you have Plan Your Dreams, a little slogan, and a contents page. Then you have the 12 months of 2026 and the 12 months of 2027. And as this is just simply the calendars, like a date reference, this one gives you a horizontal space beside it on a graph grid. So if you wanted to put a dot on the 6 and then write 6 and whatever's on that date there. Some people have used this page as a bookshelfie and lots of different uses for it. That is your full 12 months of 2026 with the horizontal space beside it. Then you again get your full 12 months of 2026, but this time it's broken into quarters and each month gets a third, and you have the graph with a day per line and then a space at the bottom. So that's quarter 1 and quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. Then you get the holidays, but they're the Canadian holidays and the American holidays, and then a blank graph page. Then you're into your January overview, and this is the same in every month. So you get what boundaries will you set for yourself this month, list 3 ways that you can carve out time for self-care, what intentions do you have this month and what milestones are you focusing on, what habits do you want to cultivate this month, are there any barriers, frequency, so how many times do I want to do that habit, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, etc. And then a little habit tracker in the corner, and then a reward. And then you get a blank graph page. If you watch my monthly plan with me, I use a Hemlock Oak, have done for the whole year, and I don't use any of these for what they're actually intended for. I change them to suit myself. Then we have the monthly spread, and I love the graph lines within it. It helps me line up stickers and write straight. And you always get 6, so they're always the same size. Even if the month only has 4 weeks or whatever, you always get 6 columns. And then you're into your weekly spread. And if you watched my flip through of my B6 horizontal, you'll know that all those opening spreads were the same for the Minimalist. This is where it obviously differs because this is a horizontal. So it says the dates up here for the week, December 29th to January 4th. And then you have the dates vertically along the side, and then down here it says week 1. And you get 7 graph squares per day. And then over here you get a completely blank page. Apart from over here, it's designed in a sort of a checklist style, but you could totally ignore that if you wanted to. And that way, if you're someone that has events but endless tasks that don't necessarily get done in one day, then this planner would be perfect for you. So the left here has 33 columns, but the right actually has 36 for divisibility by thirds. And it's a Monday start, and it's a lay flat binding. And then that just repeats for all the days in the week. And then we have our January review to finish off the month. So we have write down 3 memorable moments this month. What gave you energy this month and what drained you? And there's the plus and the minus, or energy drained. And a lesson, thought or growth moment for this month. And then another blank graph page. And then from there you go into your February overview, and it just repeats then for all the months until you get to the back, but let's take a look at the two ribbons. You can get little charms attached to your ribbons, but I didn't choose to do that. And for this one, we have a very dark blue and a lighter blue. Well, it's not light, but you know what I mean. It's a lighter shade. And then we get to the back anyway. We have our December review, and then we have our year-end review. So identify 3 memories from the last 12 months that you want to cherish. Who or what are you grateful for in the last year and why? Oh, I need to take a drink, sorry, excuse me. Oh dear, sorry. And then you get 4 spaces. And then what are you proud of in the last year, and a space. So then write down 5 positive things about yourself from the last year. What vision do you see for yourself in the future? And what are some ways you can get yourself closer to that vision? And then we have blank graph notes pages. So we get 1, 2, 31 if you count the glued to hide page, which I wouldn't. I would just stick them together, and then that would give you 30 notes pages. And then the back is blank. And that's pretty awesome, the amount of notes pages you have in the back of that. But that is the horizontal. Excuse my dog's hair. So then I got a little notebook. This I pre-ordered ages ago because I really wanted to try the 70 GSM paper, and I actually want to use this as a little ink swatch notebook for fountain pens because I want to start getting more inks. I think I only own about 3, but yeah, I want to be able to swatch them. So I got the cloth flex cover. You can get it a hard cover, a cloth flex, or a paper flex, and their hard cover has 14 colours. Their cloth flex has 9 colours, and this is the colour fawn, and their paper flex has 4 colours. They don't come with round corners, by the way. If you're looking at their website, they have to fix their website because they were considering having round corners and then they didn't. But anyway, it's lay flat and it has 228 pages, and they come in dotted graph, which is what I got, and lined. However, the lined isn't available in the 70 GSM option. It's only available in their standard paper. So I'm definitely looking forward to setting up my little swatch book with this. So this planner allows you to have your monthly, weekly and daily spreads all in one book, which is awesome. So yeah, I got this little holder with this. You have like the option to customize, but you can buy tabs. You can get this little thing, whatever it's called. I don't know the actual name for it. I'll look it up and put it in. But it attaches to the back of your book with gold hardware, like that. And you can just pull it off and it holds the book closed. Anyway, the planner itself, the hardcover, unfortunately in this one, is sold out. But you can get the cloth flex and you can get the paper flex. When I went on, the only colour option left was moss, which is what I have here. And they don't have a minimalist option. However, I'm thinking once I open this, it'll be minimalist because it has so many pages. I doubt they wanted to add a whole load of goal setting pages at the front. There's 576 pages. And again, it is lay flat. And like all their planners, it has gold foiling at the front and it says 2026 weekly daily. However, not all of them say the same thing, even though they all have gold foiling. For example, this B5 Minimalist has the little leaf and says 2026. Just like this one I just showed you. But their daily planner has the leaf and it says Hemlock Oak 2026 daily. And then down at the bottom it says January to June, because I got the 6-month one. So just bear that in mind, that it does all have gold foiling, but they say different things. Anyway, yeah, so this is the Paperflex option. And of course it's 70 GSM and we'll do a wee test in a minute. But let's take a look at it first. So inside it is blank on the first page, and then we have our name page, and then this is the same, plan your dreams. This is a lovely feeling. It's a bit random. Oh, this is new. Oh, it does have all the additional pages. That's a bummer because I don't want them and there was no option to not have them. So anyway, let's take a look at all the extra pages then that we didn't get before. Hello, beautiful mind. And we have a little how-to guide, I suppose. And then we have personal values section, self-reflection, more self-reflection, identifying values, use your favourite highlighters, markers or pens and select a word that stands out to you. None of this I will use. Identify values, setting goals, habit cultivation, daily framework, so planning out your perfect day, write down anything important you might need to reference throughout the year, and then that's the end of that sort of goal setting additional section. These are the same pages that are in the other one, and just to compare, it's a bit more muted because the colour of this page is very off-white cream for the 70 GSM, and their actual normal paper is very white, so it's something to bear in mind. And then we have our quarters. Holidays, blank page. And then we have this is different. So instead of having the January overview on this page and then a blank page, we have the January over here and then a description of how to use them. And then you go into your monthly, that's the same. And then we have our weekly pages. Now something I do love about this, I believe, and we'll find out in a second, that they have the monthly for January, the week, the days in those weeks, the next week, the days in those weeks, etc. Which I prefer. Let's find out actually. Oh no, that's not true. Well, they must have the month, then all the weeks, then all the days, which is also something I prefer if you're comparing it to having all the weeks in one section, like the whole year's months, the whole year's weeks, and then the whole year's days, like the Hobonichi cousin is. I prefer it like this. So yeah, you have all your weeks, one after the other. That'd be kind of hard to tab, to be honest. Though, you know, because if it was a weekly and then daily, you could have week 1, then flip through all your dailies and tab week 2 or something like that. But with this, I don't know, not impossible, I'm sorry, just thinking out loud. Anyway, all the weeks are here. This is different as well because it's not minimal. My minimal layout doesn't have focus, intentions and to do down the side. It's blank. And then you get into the daily. And we have the date up here, which is the same. It just looks different to me because I'm so used to looking at it in the other paper. You get the moon cycles in the corner, focus, intention, schedule, and today. And the schedule goes from 5 to 11. And I just completely ignore all this and use it as a daily journal. So then you have your whole days for that month. Then you get to the end of the month. Oh, so for some reason, even though January ended here, instead of it then going into the new one, they've put the 1st. I suppose it's to match the weeks actually, because this is in that weekly spread. That makes sense. Then we have a blank graph page, and then we go into January review. And then there is only the description in the 1st month. So they've took away the blank graph page to minimize it in a sense. So instead of having to have February overview blank page and then at the end January review blank page, they're able to combine them. So you get your January review and your February overview. And then you're into February and all that repeats until you get to the very back of the chunkiness and you get a December review. And then it's the year-end review. here. So that's the same as the other one, I believe. And then year-end review again, which is the same. And then this is new, the non-minimalist version, looking ahead. So it's not too many extras. And then we get 1, 2, 10 pages. And then this has a little quote from Robert Frost. And then blank pages and the back of the book. The original paper is called Heritage and it's 120 GSM, which is £80. But this new paper is called their Archivist paper and it's 70 GSM. Now it is new and they're making on, you know, they're taking feedback and making improvements. But the idea is that it's fountain pen friendly and it's supposed to be bleed resistant and it's smooth, but it doesn't have that sort of slick feeling that you get. The 120 GSM paper is thick. It's thick. I love it. I love their paper. It's what I've been using for ages. It's a luxurious and it's highly bleed resistant. I have used fountain pens in this and I've never had any issue. So the appeal of this being fountain pen friendly to me isn't really the appeal. What the appeal comes from is if you want to reduce the thickness. The daily and weekly is possible because of how thin the paper is. If they try to do that planner in their standard heritage paper, it would probably be about that size. So that's the appeal to me. Anyway, yeah, so that's the 70 GSM. I'll do a little pen test now and then come back to you and show you. Okay, so first of all, it feels lovely to write on, especially with the fountain pens. I wrote with each pen twice, and the first time I wrote I swiped immediately, and then the second time I wrote I left it to dry and there's no smudging, so it does have the smudgeness. I will say though, I literally wrote it and then wiped, so when it came to like the Zebra Sarasa dry, I had just wrote the number 5 and then I swiped. But if you look down here at the Zebra Sarasa dry, where, you know, by the time I wrote Zebra Sarasa dry 0.5, the rest of it had dried. So that is a good one to write with for smudging. And the Energel pen wasn't too bad. The worst one was the Sharpie, but that's predictable. So yeah, and then I did some heavier things over here, like the Zig Metallics are really inky. And then we have a Faber-Castell highlighter and Tombows and my liners and Posca paint pens. So let's flip to the other side. Oh, that's really good. So for all the gel pen style ones, and then that's Unipin fine liner and brush over there, there was 0 bleed through. Now there is ghosting, but there's nowhere near, it's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be, let's just say that. And I believe this type of paper doesn't get the crinkliness. The Tomo River paper is like 52 GSM or something like that, and this is 70. So you're getting that higher thickness, but still thin and fountain pen friendly. So yeah, that's that side, and then let's take a look at this side. I'm really impressed with that. I was fully expecting to have a load of bleed through, especially on them. Now the ghosting, you can clearly see everything through. But I am really impressed. Honestly, in my opinion, and don't let me cloud your opinion because I'm just talking about me and my fussiness, I prefer the other paper. But I haven't really used this enough to really give it a chance. But I honestly expected it to be an initial write-off. I expected to be like, no, tons of bleed through, or no, that would drive me batty, that ghosting. It's definitely impressed me on initial thoughts. Over here I did, where is it, some ink, you know, thinking about doing my little 70 GSM notebooks swatch book, and part of me's like, Ruth, this is a really bad idea. It's just gonna bleed all the way through the pages and be horrific. This is Robert Oster Coffee Monsters Co collab, Day to Night. So I put that down with a little paintbrush, and then I have some Distress Oxide here, and you can see no bleed through. there's ghosting, but not enough that it would bug me. And I really do think I'm going to use that little notebook for my ink swatch book. Yeah, very impressed. Over here I stamped, and this is the Distress Archival ink. And it is very heavy ghosting, especially up here. But there's no bleeding. So if ghosting doesn't bug you, then you could probably, I mean, I don't know, I haven't actually used it fully, but going from first impressions, I would say you could use this if ghosting doesn't bug you. For all, there isn't really anything I've used here that gave it issues, even like the Posca paint pens and stuff. And be conscious that as soon as you write, don't wipe your hand straight over your writing. And if all those things are fine with you and you want the benefits of an all-in-one planner or just less thickness in general, then this is for you. This is the only option of planner, by the way. I don't know if I said that earlier, that you can't get like the horizontal or like the B5 minimal or whatever in this paper. You can only get it in the Weekly Daily, this specific planner. Yeah, so I hope that was helpful, and I used everything I own basically, unless I've forgotten something and I just can't think of it off the top of my head. So I'm sorry if there was something particular you wanted to see that I just don't own, but hopefully that has gave you enough of idea of what you would maybe think of the 70 GSM paper, and of course of the different planners and stuff. Again, I tried not to heavily give my opinion, even though I can't help it, because I didn't, you know, everybody's different. I just wanted to show the planners in here. However, I will talk more about the planners in my next video, which is going to be what planners I'm actually using for the year, for 2026, and journals, etc. And I'll be talking about the reasons why I chose those planners over specific planners, and that'll be full of my opinions and thoughts. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. But until next time, take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.